On my way to school, every day, I pass by restaurants and stores with signs in Vietnamese. I can't read a word, and I don't dare try to pronounce any of them, because I know I'll be laughed at by my Vietnamese friends. I myself am not Viet, despite the many times I've been mistaken as such. I'm Chinese. More specifically, I'm what my family always calls ABC, American-born Chinese. In other words, I'm too Americanized at this point to really feel connected to Chinese or Taiwanese culture, especially in this specific part of the city that's mostly populated by Viet and Hispanic people. Even so, in my own home, I grew up with Chinese and Taiwanese dishes. And no, I don't mean Panda Express. These are dishes that many of my friends aren't familiar with, bits of culture brought from Taiwan by my family. Some are bought at Chinese and Taiwanese places, foods like fan tuan and zongzi and cua bing. They're not as good as where they're actually from, according to my parents, but I wouldn't even know. My grandma, Mei Wenzhou, is my closest tie to my family's homeland. Her experience with Taiwan is different, partly because that's where she grew up, and partly because, with modernization and the growing food industry, things have changed since she was my age. Still, there are many foods that she enjoyed that I'm familiar with today.
那时候我们做的很简单啦，就是大家 share 啦，对不对？比如说我的那个 older sister 啦，对不对？他就帮着做啊，然后 mother 啊、father 啊，还有 grandmother 都会做的啦。谁想做就去做啊，谁做了就大家一起吃啊。当然了，大部分还是把妈妈做了，对不对？这样子啦。那我没有做过，我真的没有做过。
My grandma didn't cook until she married, and it's not a particular passion of hers. Yet, it became something she did for the family, from wife to mother, and now my grandmother.
等于我看所有的妈妈都不会说喜欢的，真的啊，所有的妈妈一定都不会喜欢的啦。不过我妈妈很喜欢做，她什么都做啊。你的 grandma 啊，她有做包粽子，做 moon cake 月饼，做年糕，哇，她什么都做啊。你的 grandma 的什么都喜欢做。
She brought those recipes with her once she married and raised her own family. Then she came to America, where she stayed for the last 20 years. Even though she doesn't live in the same household as my mom, my brother, and I, she comes over often to leave behind dim sum or her own cooking.
主要是看你们喜欢吃什么，我才做啊。结婚以后嘛，哈，想说嘛，就是为了这个大家的那个嘛，哈，一家人要吃嘛，也没有想做什么，就是大家一起生活嘛。我是因为方便嘛，因为妈妈因为要上班嘛，对不对？她时间比较少嘛，我有方便啦，我就做一点点啦。
Even though she says her dishes are easy to make, they're arguably better than any takeout I've eaten. Not because of a special ingredient or professional method, but because, although simple, the dishes of home. Whether that be the home country that my family's from, or the authentic culture that I don't see much around here, or even just the home I live in today. Being ABC in this area means being disappointed when the 99 Ranch Market cashier speaks Vietnamese, yet struggling to speak in broken Mandarin to my own grandma. Yet, she understands, and that's why her cooking matters all the more to me.
还在那加？
好吃，不用加了。
不用加了。哎，我都不觉得好吃。
Surprisingly though, even with few Chinese or Taiwanese people in this particular area, she adapted easily to America and doesn't miss Taiwan all that much. Still, her descriptions of her cultural origins fascinate me. Like how one city she lived in, Geelong, was always raining. Yeah, pretty unbelievable for us Californians. But I especially love the recipes she brought here, or the ones that I see around, that I know must be so much better there.
台湾的东西选择太多了，因为它有那个嘛呀，就是夜市嘛哈，night market 嘛是吧？还有那个路边摊的啦。哎呀，台湾要选择太多了啦。你要吃的话哦，一天吃一样，恐怕嘛要吃100年都吃不到，吃不完。
It might be difficult to fully connect to the culture that my grandma experienced, but I'm very grateful for what she cooks and why she does so. Even as a very Americanized Chinese American who's never been to either China or Taiwan, I hope to take these little parts of her culture and herself with me forever. And it doesn't matter to me that I'm in a community that doesn't really share the same culture as my family. That's the beauty of cultures, really, to immerse yourself in others but also stay true to your own. And that's why I'll always appreciate my grandma and the simple dishes made for family.